Hey, y'all, look, listen, y'all. Before we get started with the show, I want to just say this. Last night was wild because it's so funny because no matter how long I do this, no matter how many shows I do, no matter how many videos is done, people can't wait to come up there and tell me what it is. I wasn't talking to you. Neck on a chicken string, snatching dreams out the air, on the live stream looking like Celie. Miss Celie? And they got the nerve to be life coaches. I said, good God. But I'm a changed man. I'm international Anton nowadays. Kristen, have I not evolved? Am I changing? And we all got to change. We all got to evolve. We all got to be better versions of ourselves. Yes, we do. Yes, we can. Yes, we will. Anton just had hella restraint. I didn't even need restraint last night because I'm a different person. I didn't have to go get the black hoodie and then start to do what I do and do what I did back in 3 years ago. That was a time in my life, but we've evolved. We've become better. We've become more profitable. We've gone corporate. And we all need to change and we all need to evolve. But let me tell you something. Our frustration and the fact that we are emotional because we care so much does not mean that we don't have to make logical decisions. And this is the thing that I was telling them on the show last night. I said, listen, men in general cannot afford to lean into our emotions because I feel as much as as much as people try to make it seem like, oh, Anton, you don't care. You always hold people accountable, whatever. No, I genuinely do feel. I do. Let me give y'all a little bit of insight that y'all may not know. I am one of the most emotional people that I have ever met in my entire life. I'm going to give you a little bit of a revelation. I am one of the most emotional people. When I was being raised, and I see this in my daughter, and I'm training her and I've conditioned her differently because I know who I was, and I see that it's almost been passed down into her, but she's learned how to control her emotions because she's been in sports and taekwondo, and so she's been able to manage herself much more effectively than I did when I was younger. But when I was younger, I was very emotional. I hated to see certain things happen in life. When I would see things happen on the street, it would bother my soul. It would really, really get to me. I had a hard time when I was growing up looking people in their eyes because whenever I would look them in their eyes, I would have to do like this because I would start watering up. I would start tearing up a little bit because it was difficult for me to look at them and see who they were becoming and see what their future was, even as a young man, and not be bothered by it. And so, my father started really getting involved because he was like, Anton, if you keep going like this, you're going to have a heart attack, or you're going to crash out when you get older, or you're going to meet a girl one day and she going to pull on your heartstrings and then you're going to turn into a crash dummy. Then he said, I can't have that. So my father started teaching me and he got involved in my life and he started to help me to understand as I aged and as I became a teenager. Right? Because I was one of the type of kids that I would get into a fight in elementary school and middle school. I would get into fights and stuff like that. And so we said, listen, you can't react to everything that people say to you. And life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you react to it. And it always stuck with me. And so as I aged and as I went into high school and college, I learned how to manage myself more effectively, which the young lady was right. But what she didn't realize was that I was adding context to her conversation. And so we all have emotions, but boys turning into men, and this is why you need strong fathers in your life. Men at some point have to learn how to manage it more effectively. Some of us manage it through sports. Some of us become great business owners. Some of us learn how to adjust and evolve. And some of us continue to lean into that, and then they become more feminine because they've become versions of their mother, and so they become crash dummies. And that doesn't change you from being a man, but what it does is it shows in your actions. So when you then run into people on a regular basis, and let's say you get into a confrontation, you're not able to walk away and you crash out because you got to see it through because ain't nobody going to disrespect me. No, it's much more conducive for your life and for your family and for the people that you then are supporting for you to put down that emotion and make a logical decision, because the emotions is going to get you to crash out. And what I see from people happening every day, even when it comes to this political process, is that people are emotional, and that's how they play into you, is that they control your emotions by telling you things and selling you on things. And because you don't do the research, and that's one of the ways in which my father had managed me for more effectively, said, Anton, anything that you want to do, let's say you want that car over there, you sleep on it. You never make an emotional decision. You never let the salesman get to you. You love the sales, but it doesn't mean that you're going to necessarily make that decision. You sleep on it, and then if you wake up in the morning and you still want that car, then you start doing the research, and then you figure out whether or not it makes sense for your budget. And it helped me. It helped me significantly, and it changed my life. And so when I see people every single day not able to control themselves or not evolving to become the better version of themselves, it's either one of two things. Either I know that they were raised by their mother and they can't control themselves, or number two, they just inherently need to be left behind. But either way, nobody can play into your emotions. And what I see from all of the women that was on the panel last night that had that red hat on, they left the emotion out of it and they started talking logically. And all of the ones that was crash dummies, they needed to be left behind. And what you're going to have to understand is that you're going to have to leave some people behind. And it's unfortunate because it's one of the most emotional and difficult things for us to do in life. You have family members that no longer serve you. And it doesn't mean that they're bad people. It means that they're confused and they're ignorant, or they refuse to change, or they've been hardened in their ways. And so they've been sold the Kool-Aid, and they're preventing you from getting to the next level. But because you're emotional, you're not able to make a business decision that's ultimately going to be best for your daughter, for your son, for the people that depend on you, for your future employees that you can then employ and make sure that you take care of their families. But you're never going to get to the point to where you even have that business because you're too busy trying to keep it real with the people that's keeping you down. When it comes to relationships, some of y'all are so involved with people that no longer have your best interests at heart. But what you do, and I'm not talking about the people with kids, I'm not talking about the people that's married, I'm not talking about people that really have a bond. I'm talking about people that are strictly in something that's transactional, that no longer serves you. But what we do is that we continue to stick around and mourn. You're mourning the death of a relationship while you're in it, and you stick around too long, which then prevents you from being able to get to the real thing that you're supposed to be with. When it comes to this political process and the Democratic plantation, some slaves was left behind. Everybody didn't get to the Underground Railroad. Everybody couldn't envision what freedom looked like. Everybody couldn't get to Detroit. Everybody couldn't run up north. Some people stayed there and got their backs whipped in, and they said, thank you, I appreciate you for beating my back in, because that is the best thing that ever happened to me, massa. And they fought evolution, they fought revolution, they fought change. And you're going to have to make the decision. You are at a crossroads in your life. If you are watching this right now, whether you're restreaming it or you're watching it live, you are in a crossroads in your life where you're going to have to make a difficult decision. But see, the word of God says, my brother and my sister, my mother and my auntie, the people that are my family are not necessarily the people that I was born with, but it's the people that's going in that direction with me. When he was sitting up there with the apostles and he was talking to them and they said, hey man, your mother is knocking at the door. He said, who is my mother and my father? Y'all my people. Let them wait. Because your tribe is the people that are going in the direction that you're going. And then again, it doesn't absolve you from having respect. It doesn't absolve you from being nice. It doesn't mean that you can't be respectful and nice and also appreciative of the time that y'all had together. But you're going to have to understand that your vision and your purpose in your life, as ordained by God, is telling you to go in that direction. And everybody is not meant to go, but it is for you. And I see people all the time and they say stuff like, Anton, well, everybody can't be a millionaire. Well, that's not for you. It's me. That's my purpose to be a millionaire, not you. It's my purpose to be free, not yours. It's my purpose to employ people, not yours. It's my purpose to go and kick it with the people out here in the streets and educate them and open them up and then allow for them to make the decision for themselves, because you cannot change anybody's heart. That is God to reveal himself to them, but he's using you as a vessel in order to remove all of the excuses so that they can do what they're supposed to do or pay the price for making a decision otherwise. And everybody can't go. Everybody can't be, that's you 100% right. Everybody can't be rich, but I can. I can. Everybody can't have a perfect life when it comes to your household and the people that serve you and a great tribe and all of that, but I can. And I make the decision every single day. And I do a inventory check of the people that are around me, and I make sure that they either rolling in the direction that I'm going in, or we have to part ways amicably because we going in two different directions. There's people that's been following me for a while. They know my history. People that see me on other panels and other shows and stuff, they know my history. There's been people in shows and business partners that we just don't see eye to eye anymore. And because they didn't see the vision that I wanted to execute for them, I took my vision and I executed on Monday nights. I took my vision and I executed on the Millionaire Morning Show. I take my vision and I executed on the Anton Daniels channel. I took my vision and I found my team. I found my tribe. I found people that organically is going in the direction that I'm going in. And I found my Mika and I found my Q and I found my Carrie and I found my Molly, right? And I found my Quentin and I found my Slimmy. And I found my editors and I found the people that surround me, that support me behind the scenes, that don't even want the visibility, but they want to pour into me. And so they're going to be the beneficiary of all of this stuff that we build. And I found you guys. I found your car. I found Azriel, right? I found Artifacts. I found all of these people that is going in the direction that I'm going in. And guess what? Everything that I gave up, everything that I walked away from, I had to walk away from my family. I had to walk away from this person. I had to walk away from the hood. I had to walk away from the Democratic Plantation. God has multiplied it for me and gave it to me 10 times over. Everything that I gave up, he gave it back to me tenfold. Everything that I gave up, he gave it back to me tenfold. Everything that I left behind, he gave it to me times 10. It was not for nothing. It was for a purpose. But then seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and everything else will be added unto you. It's not for you to question. It's for you to execute on. You have a vision for your life, and your vision may not be a woman. It may not necessarily be the hood. It may not be this. It may not be that. But your vision, and that's why you have to go before God, learn your word, and then get consecrated and ultimately make a decision that's best for you. But your vision is for you. And obedience is better than sacrifice. So what you think you wouldn't be giving up in order to get it, you actually execute with your obedience, and you're rewarded accordingly for it. It's not that you're chasing the money. Being a bag chaser and a Patreon member is not even about money. We understand that the money comes along with the studying, right? Y'all keep talking about faith, but you never talk about the works, because faith without works is dead. You're going to have to make the adjustment and go into your purpose. Your purpose is not a person. The person is along with you for the ride, and ultimately they are to serve, and then we both benefit as a result of the relationship. But if it's not conducive for your life, what are you doing? You're not going to drag your family to the promised land. Your family has hardened their heart. Your mama don't care about what it is that you present to her as facts. They don't care if these people are advocating for the alphabet community. They don't care whether or not these people are out here killing babies. They don't care how much they are part of the establishment. They don't care how much they are warmongers. They don't care that these people are letting these people infiltrate your cities, your states, and your country with people that are not even supposed to be here and paying them your tax dollars to do so. They don't care. The only thing they care about is what they thought that they knew, and they don't want to let it go because it's too scary for them to step outside of their comfort zone and see something new. They are stuck on the plantation, and we have to leave them behind. And sometimes they can see you walking away and they can see your glory, or they'll see what you've developed into and they say, I want that too. So your life has to be an example. It's not about what you say. What you say is the cherry on top. What you do is the thing that then translates into people's lives, because nobody wants to hear from a loser. And so it's not about what you do. It's about what you say when you saying it to the people that don't want to hear it. But when you actually do, it's a completely different transformation, and you start to affect lives and you change people. And you run into people. And I ran into a guy named Anton yesterday, and he said, man, you know how I remembered you? Because our name was the same, but you changed my life. And now I'm a better man. I'm a better husband. Now I'm getting to the bag and I'm making better decisions. I'll never go back to the thing that I used to do because you showed me through your works that you can do things differently and get different results. So the question that I then ask you guys, as we do these shows, as I give you the information, as we do our Monday nights and all of this stuff, and as you continue to watch me, because I've always said that my life is an open book, and so I want you to see exactly how it evolves. And you watching me in real time every single day. We look like we being entertained, but at the same time, you're watching a real life person go through life and show you with an open book an example of what it is that you're supposed to evolve past. There's going to be some ups. There's going to be some downs. There's going to be some people that don't like you. There's going to be some people that snake you. You're going to go into a business relationship. You're going to start a podcast over here. They're going to not want to pay you. They're going to not want to share what it is that we agreed upon in the first place. And so you're going to leave them behind. They're going to have 120 people in their live streams when I used to bring 3,000 people to them. And then you're going to go and start a completely new thing. And you're going to have 7,000 people in there. And they're going to be watching like this. Dang, I should have listened to them. Gotta leave them behind. You gotta leave them behind. It don't sound right, but it is. You can't pour out of an empty cup. You gotta first get yourself together before you can start pouring into other people. You can't pour out of an empty cup. You gotta be selfish before you can be selfless. Stop trying to save them. Be an example to them. The best thing you can be for me, and people ask me all the time, Anton, what can I do for you? Best thing you can do for me is get yourself together. Because I can't use you if you ain't nothing worth having around. I don't need no anchors. I need people that's wrong with me. At some point, you're going to have to wake up and find your tribe. And when you see it, and when you catch it, and when you get that lightning in a bottle, when you see somebody that inspires you, that's actually going in the direction that you're going into, you hold on. You hold on for dear life, and you never let it go. You don't let it go. You hold on and you leave that thing behind. Some people ain't meant to go. Everybody can't go. Everybody can't go. It's not for them. That's not their purpose. They was there for a season and that season is over and we going into a new season. All right? If you ever needed confirmation, if you ever looking for a witness, if you prayed to God or you asked God to show you something, show you what your life need to be, give me a sign, give me a message, give me something that inspires me to actually push forward, that motivates me to be something that I've never been before so that I can go in places that I've never been. This is it. This is it. This is for you. This message is for you. I'm telling you right now that you need to evolve past the place that you're in and you're not meant to be there for the next 30 years only to die. You are meant for greater things. Your life is meant for greater things. You are not supposed to just be a follower or a hanger-oner. You are supposed to evolve past the place that you in to get to another space. I don't know what that is because everybody got their own individual journey. But what I am telling you is that you need to continue to grow and stop letting these people keep you in the hood. Stop letting these people keep you as a part of the Democratic plantation. Stop letting these people hold you down. Stop letting these people tell you you're just supposed to work there for 30 years. Stop letting these people tell you that you're only supposed to do this, do that. But you know you meant for greater. You know you meant for greater. Leave it all on the flow. Live every single day like it's your last. Leave it out on the flow. Live life with no regrets. You hear me?